Last work I done was carpenter work down Horseshoe Run. Just like this park here next to Elkins. I worked in that park even. And Roosevelt Park up on the mountain, there, you probably know where it's at. I worked on that. And Bear Haven Park, I helped build that. That was when I was in Glady Fork. I've done a lot of carpenter work and land blocks. Yeah, some of them didn't, know hardly anything when they come in, or they didn't know how to use a shovel, and they'd teach them. They soon learn how to use them.
One of the main areas of emphasis in the CCC was education. They taught youth how to read. They taught them how to write. One interview that I did many years ago, the guy says, you should have seen the look on this boy's face when he wrote his first letter home to his parents. They had a vocational education program where they taught people skills. They would teach you auto mechanics. They would teach you a whole host of things, blacksmithing, trades that were necessary for life.
As development of the parks nears completion, the public is invited to take advantage of what is being provided, and folks appear in good numbers. Crowds at Lost River Park represent the quick response. This group comes down a path and crosses a bridge built by Conservation Corps enrollees. Under Lost River's old trees have been built rustic tables to hold the picnic lunch until it finds its proper place in the community stomach.
When people found out that they were going to get a CCC camp close to them, in some cases there was some apprehension. But then they realized you had to outfit these people. They had to eat. They had to buy toiletries and all this other stuff. This was money that was spent in the local communities. So they really got an economic boost. And you'd be surprised how many of the CCC boys, because of their discipline, because of their work and everything else, met at weekend dances or movies, young girls from the local towns, and married them.
I remember there was a camp in the smoke house, and they, one day a week, maybe it was the weekend, I don't remember exactly, but they would walk about 5 or 6 miles, I know it is, to get up to Upper Track, and they'd come up and to the store, and several of them had girlfriends up there. A lady that lived with us, she married a guy that was down there. And they'd come up there and play ball, and I know little kids, and the kids would be out there. And we knew that they were doing something good for us in the whole country, really. And we were taught to be respectful, and we were to them. They worked together, and a lot of people then were really hungry. I mean, it helped feed people. It was for the good of all, knowing that, hey, when we get together, we can do what we need to do.
They taught you that you were doing something for mankind, something that needed done that had not been accomplished before. They had over-tilled the ground until it was no longer good for cultivating. So it ended up with nothing but called a dust bowl. So the CCC's planted trees from the Canadian border to the Gulf of Mexico. So that was one of the large things there, but we built parks all over the country. Every state had state parks built, and they're still standing. They made men out of boys because a lot of them had never even been away from the house and didn't know the first thing about what the country was like. In fact, I didn't realize how big this country is. But there's one thing about it, we learned in a hurry.
Most of the people that you talk to, one of the things that they can vividly remember is what they learned in the CCC, they took with them all of their lives. Many people profess that we should have the CCC come back today and train America's youth, especially all the elderly people who were in the CCC. They think that America's youth today needs a CCC.
I believe that what this country needs, they either should have something like the 3 C's to spend at least 2 years in, or them 2 years in the military before after they got out of high school. I believe it would be the best thing in the world because they would find out what the rest of the world is like.
Well, I tell kids, all of them that, you know, I can get to talk to, I tell them that's the best experience I ever had. I said, you get out, you meet all kind of boys, good boys, good people. They really should have them today.
In projects such as this and in the great construction program throughout the state, we find assurance that we are building a strong foundation for a better West Virginia.